Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privajakacharya Asto Tortata Srimad Nitya Leela Bhavista Shila Abhay Charan Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj ISKCON's BBT founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Kvantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 6, Chapter 12, Vritasura's Glorious Death, Text 11, Purusha, the Generator. Excuse me, we'll do that afterwards. Prakriti, Vyaktam, Atma, Bhuta, Indriya, Ashaya, Saknuvanti, Asya, Sarga, Adau, Na, Vina, Yat, Anugrahat. Purusha Prakriti Vyaktam Atma Bhutendriyashaya Saknuvantyasya Sargado Nabhinayad Anugrahat Purusha Prakriti Vyaktam Atma Bhutendriyashaya Saknuvantyasya Sargado Nabhinayad Anugrahat. Please chant. Ladies. Purusha, the generator of the total material energy. Prakriti, the material energy or material nature. Vyaktam, the principles of manifestation. Mahat Tattva. Atma, the false ego, Bhuta, the five material elements, Indriya, the 10 senses, Ashaya, the mind, intelligence, and consciousness, Saknuvanti, are able, Asya, of this universe, Sarga Ado, in the creation, etc. Na, not, Bina, without, Yat, of whom, Anugrahat, the mercy. Translation. As Brittasura speaking to Indra on the battlefield in the midst of the battle. The three Purushas, Karnadakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Shirodakshai Vishnu, the material nature, the total material energy, the false ego, the five material elements, the material senses, the mind, the intelligence, and consciousness cannot create the material manifestation without the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Let's say it together. The three Purushas. Karnadakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Shirodakshai Vishnu. The material nature, the total material energy, the false ego, the five material elements, the material senses, the mind, the intelligence, and consciousness cannot create the material manifestation without the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport by His Divine Grace, ISKCON's founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. As confirmed in the Vishnu Purana, Parasya Brahmana Shaktis Tatidam Akilam Jagat. Whatever manifestations we experience are nothing but various energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These energies cannot create anything independently. This is also confirmed by the Lord Himself in the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, verse 10. Mayadakshena prakrite suyate sa characharam. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving living beings. Only under the direction of the Lord, the Supreme Person, can Prakriti, which is manifested in 24 elements, create different situations for the living entity. In the Vedas, the Lord says, Madhyam Mahimanam Cha Parabrahmati Sabditam Vaityasi Anugrahitam Me Samprashner Vivitam Ridi. Since everything is a manifestation of my energy, I am known as Parabrahman. Therefore, everyone should hear from me about my glorious activities. The Lord also says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 2, Aham adir hi devanam. I am the origin of all the demigods. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the origin of everything, and no one is independent of Him. Srila Madhvacharya also says, Anisha Jiva Rupena. The living entity is Anisha, never the controller, but is always controlled. Therefore, when a living entity becomes proud of being an independent Ishvar or God, that is his foolishness. Such foolishness is described in the following verse. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Umlitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Gadamayam Didati Sva Padantikam Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatanvitam Dham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabando Jagatpate Gopiksha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Surato Pangor Mamamanda Matergati Matsarvasva Padambojo Radha Madana Mohano Dibyad Brindaranya Kalpajumada Srimad Ratnagara Sringhasanasto Srimad Radha Shrilagovinda Devo Prastalabi Savyamano Smarami Sriman Rasa Rasarambi Bamsi Bhattatastita Karshan Venu Svanar Gopir Gopinatha Shriye Stuna Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Brindavaneshvari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubiascha Kripa Sandubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gora Bhaktabrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Purusha Prakriti Vyaktam Atma Bhutendriyashaya Saknuvantyasi Sargado Nabina Yad Anugrahat. The three Purushas, Karnadakshay Vishnu, Garbhadakshay Vishnu, and Shiradakshay Vishnu, the material nature, the total material energy, the false ego, the five material elements, the material senses, the mind, the intelligence, and consciousness cannot create the material manifestation without the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is a very extraordinary situation that one adversary, two people are fighting, and the one who is, and one of the adversaries, you would think both want victory and will do anything to get it, but here is one, and from an external observation is a much bigger, physically, bodily, giant demon, big, We hear in the beginning the appearance of Brittasura that, everybody just ran for their lives, just fleeing. And when he would just stomp the ground, the fighters would be like stomped like we walk on ants on the sidewalk without even noticing them. So here, this Brittasura is encouraging Indra to fight, and even more encouraging him to fight, he's telling him that victory is going to be yours, and seemingly at my expense, that I will be killed and you will be victorious. So Indra is coming to know, and we'll hear in a few verses, beginning on verse 18, hearing the straightforward instructions of Brittasura, Indra praised him and spoke. I see by your discrimination and endurance in devotional service despite your dangerous position, which would also mean your seeming heinousness, we say your highness, but in the demon's case, your heinousness. As a demon, you are a perfect devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Jagadishvaram, the super soul and friend of everyone. When somebody would try to make themselves out before Prabhupada that they are God or one with God, Prabhupada said, you are not God. Do you know what's going on in everyone's heart? Do you know what everyone is thinking? Are you everyone's best friend and well-wisher? So that is a very important definition. Suridam, Surit. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be the dearmost and best friend of everyone. And on behalf of the Lord, the spotlessly pure devotee, as the Lord's representative, also acts as the best friend of everyone. And that reaches its supreme culmination in the form of the bona fide acharya, or spiritual master, Shakshadadvidve Nastanamsta Shastraya. He becomes, by his transcendental oneness and interest with the Lord, non-different from the Lord. So Prabhupada is saying how Indra was surprised that such a demon could be fixed in devotional service. For such a mentality is impossible for a demon. And here, Prabhupada is mentioning and, so to speak, directing us to understand the foolishness of becoming proud, which is the bodily conception of life, thinking oneself an independent controller, in the next verse, following verse. And we won't steal the thunder from whoever will give the class tomorrow, but we will follow the natural direction of Srila Prabhupada to look. Avidvan evam atmanam manyate nisham ishvaram bhutai srijati bhutani grasate tani tai svayam. A foolish, senseless person cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although always dependent, he falsely thinks himself the Supreme. And Prabhupada would give the example of little children. They're completely dependent upon their parents. In the case of the child forgetful, they're building their skyscraper buildings, sand castles at the beach, and at a certain time, the father calls them, it's time to come home. Or Prabhupada mentions in one place the partial annihilation of the universe at the end of the day and night of Lord Brahma, and then the complete annihilation of the universe at the end of Lord Brahma's lifetime. One should remember all of these devastations or annihilations, because this will help one to ultimately become detached from thinking this material world is one's home. So we had our day at the beach. It's time to go home. Falsely thinking oneself the supreme. And then the flimsy philosophy of karma mimamsa. According to one's previous fruit of actions, one's material body is created by the father and mother, and the same body is annihilated by another agent, as another animal is devoured by a tiger. So Krishna also says, the foolish cannot understand how a living entity quits his body under the spell of material nature and takes another, but one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all these things clearly. Because this material world is a great transcendental setup, or let's just say unreal farce of reality, that everyone is trying to themselves be the independent controller and supreme, so the various opulences that one has, proportionately more or less, is in relationship to one's previously performed either higher or lower pious or impious activities, so that one is enjoying in this life aristocratic, noble birth, bodily beauty, nice, sharp, dexterous intelligence and use of the senses. It can be a basketball, or anyway, very rich person. You can be very, very beautiful, man or woman, whatever. And what's the other one? Rich, very, very wealthy. So somebody who's very poor, begging in the street, lying in the subway, that's because of their performing impious activities in the previous life, and vice versa. So this is, or that one works very, very hard and can practically not even, get their 4 chapatis a day or have a roof over their head. Where someone has to do little to nothing, and he's owner of vast property. According to the conclusion of the philosophy known as karma mimamsa, one's karma or previous fruit of activity is the cause of everything, and therefore there is no need to work. So, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, everyone must maintain themselves by some type of work, but in instruction and direction to devotees, do that work for me. So hence the Varnashram Dharma system, which takes one from, takes everyone from whatever stage, but in this context, takes the rank beginner to be able to mold and give shape to their life by training how this material world is not our real home, and that we are not this material body or mind, and that this human life is meant for controlling the mind and senses to achieve soundly, step by step, complete self-realization. That is the utility or usefulness of the ashrams, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and ultimately sannyas, and the how to incorporate or utilize our various mixtures of the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Sudras. So, one who knows that the 3 qualities, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are not qualities of the soul, but qualities of material nature, and who knows that the pure soul is simply an observer of the actions and reactions of these qualities, should be understood to be a liberated person. He is not bound by these qualities. And Prabhupada says, this is always has stayed in my memory, the living being, the pure soul, has nothing to do with these modes. In the midst of the light breeze, hurricane of this material world, everything changes very quickly. But if one remains silent and simply observes the actions and reactions of the hurricane, he is understood to be liberated. That is the real qualification of the liberated soul, is that he remains Krishna conscious, undisturbed by the actions and reactions of the material energy. Such a liberated person is always jubilant. And Prabhupada directs us to 1854. Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prashanatma, na sochati na kankshati, samasarvesha bhutetsu. One who is transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires. It's a symptom of the mode of passion, where uncontrollable desire, hankering, lamentation, These are symptoms of the mode of passion, or desires to have anything. For his own sake, he doesn't have to endeavor for anything, but for Krishna's sake, the devotee is very, very active. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. He remains steady in all circumstances. So Prabhupada also says in purports coming up in the coming verses that the definition of Sura and Asura, seemingly Indra, Purandar Indra is the Sura, king of the demigods, whereas Britasura is the Asura, and what to speak of, king of the, leader of the demons. But we see here that Britasura, he was understanding not only that everything is under the control of the Lord, but more that his position was a devotee of Krishna. And more than that, he had information of what his eternal identity and what his eternal mood in loving devotional service was. Indeed, the last chapter concluded with some of his confidential revelations of how he wants to serve the Lord in eternal serving mood. I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planets where Lord Brahma resides, nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. It's described that when someone is performing tapasya, severe austerities, what to speak of tapasvis or yogis, even devotees, because they're performing penances and austerities for the sake of advancing the interest of the Lord, devotional service, what happens? The demigods become envious, and they try to make impediments to actually put stumbling block to trip up the performer of austerity and penance, or even the devotee, and even Indra himself. He put stumbling blocks on the path of the pure Brajabasi's attempt to perform Govardhan Puja. So this is another reason, Kaimastaster Rita Jnana Prapadyante Devata. We do not want the benediction, nor do we need the benediction of the demigods, their favors, because they are not pure devotees. And as we see, maybe we can have a show of hands, who has ever had the experience with someone who's not a pure devotee saying one thing and doing another, or acting one way and then acting another? Has ever had that experience? No, really? Wow. So Krishna and his pure devotees, their activities are always consistent. So Prabhupada, most glorious example, can rightfully say and sign all his letters, your ever well-wisher. There's no, any instruction, any association with a pure devotee is always to one's eternal benefit. What is it? Even 1/11 of a second association with a pure devotee is enough to ensure one's complete perfection. Complete perfection means that 1/11 of a second is such a concentrated bhakti lata that even you don't have any more association. That's enough to reveal the complete path, step by step. Just like now they have MapQuest, this and that, but back in the day, if you wanted to drive from here to California, you'd have to get all kinds of road maps. Or before the interstate highway systems were created, very, very simple and easy. There'd be so many, twists and turns and this and that, and you get lost. So this material world, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati tells the story of a blind man who wanted to try to go to his relative's village, distant village. And he had the idea that he would grab hold on back of a cow's tail, and the cow would trail him because the cow was from this village. He would bring him there. Anyway, it's a story based on, India 100 years ago. But anyway, so the cow became very, very scared and upset having somebody holding on to its tail. So the cow acted very erratically and was running frantically and was dragging this poor person through bramble bushes and thorn bushes and, frequently kicking him very hard. And, the distance was several miles. And what happened was the person's, all their clothes became torn and ripped up, disheveled. It was like cut and like bruised all over their body. So much so that when he finally reached his relative's village, nobody could recognize him and thought that he was a thief of the cow, and then they beat him up even more. So the purport of the story is, not anyone and everyone is competent to take us on the path back home to Godhead, or that the path out of this material world is very, very complicated or circuitous, and that if the blind leading the blind, they both miss the right path and fall into a ditch. If we take help from false guru or from bad association, then our position will be like the blind villager, ultimately. So Prabhupada is saying that actually Brittasura is the Sura because he realizes that Krishna is the supreme controller and the only independent doer, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karnam, the only cause of all causes, as Prahlad Maharaj concludes his teachings to his class friends. To see Govinda everywhere and always is the only goal of life. There is nothing more than this. So Brittasura is the Sura, and Indra, even though he's seemingly leader of the demigods, is the Asura. So for a devotee, ultimately, only devotional service and association with the Lord's pure devotees is the only ultimate goal of life. In the conclusion of the Madhya Lila, which Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami at his old age was even thinking he might not even live longer to give the last pastimes, Antya Lila of the Lord, even in the beginning of the Madhya Lila, I believe it's chapter 3, the ecstatic manifestation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, gives a synopsis of the Antya Lila. So he is, like Prabhupada would say, I've given everything in the first canto. Simply by reading the first canto, you can go back home, back to Godhead. So at the end of the, here's my bookmark, here it is. Madhya Lila, chapter 25. Krishna consciousness means understanding the truth of Krishna, the truth of devotional service, the truth of love of Godhead, the truth of emotional ecstasy, the truth of transcendental mellows, and the truth of the pastimes of the Lord. Who are you? Who is the Lord? And what are activities? Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan, Tattva, Gyan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally preached the transcendental truths and mellows of Srimad Bhagavatam and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical, for the Srimad Bhagavatam is the sound incarnation of Sri Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu broadcast the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam. He sometimes spoke for the benefit of his devotees and sometimes empowered one of his devotees to speak while he listened. So this is a instruction for spiritual masters. Not only should they speak, but they should train their disciples to speak also on this sublime subject. All sane men, one who is not a pure devotee, is understood, Prabhupada writes in the first canto, to be not in a sane condition of life. So the real definition of sanity is that one is a pure devotee. Devotees in a healthy living entities in a healthy condition are known as devotees. The Lord is like a diamond, and the devotee is like a golden band. Together they enhance each other and both look very nice. So sane men will realize there is no one more merciful and magnanimous, and there is no one as kind as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that his personal program of Harinam Sankirtan, the Sankirtan movement of rendering and distributing pure devotional service, is the topmost activity. All devotees should hear about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes with faith and love. By the grace of the Lord, one can thus attain shelter at his lotus feet. And why is that? Golokera Prema Dana Harinam Sankirtan, that the treasure of divine love of Goloka Vrindavan, where the Lord reciprocates the topmost forms of love and reciprocation, has descended, come down into this world in the form of the Sankirtan movement. By understanding the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one can understand the truth about Krishna. By understanding Krishna, one can understand the limit of all knowledge described in various revealed scriptures. The pastimes of Lord Krishna are the essence of all nectar, and that nectar is flowing in hundreds of rivers in all directions. So when one becomes a pure devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitra Gita Baditra Madhyan Manaso Rasena, and they become Parivjakacharya, either by traveling all over the world or by the lazy intelligent process of having the entire material world travel to him. Actually, Hirdesh Arjuna Tishtati, the super soul is in the heart of every living entity. But when one becomes a pure devotee, the super soul, Paramatma, who is a manifestation of Shirodakshai Vishnu, very, very happily leaves the heart or allows the heart of the pure devotee to be the resting place of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna Pranamur Yugala Kishore Jivane Marani Gati Aranahimur. The divine couple Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, Radha Murlidhar, are my life and soul. In life or death, I have no other refuge but them. And when that pure devotee has the divine couple installed within his heart, then the super soul, who is the plenary is the expansion of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna in the heart of all others, becomes so joyous, and the super soul will direct so many living entities to come into the presence of that pure devotee who has Radha and Krishna in their heart, primarily symptomized by chanting the pure holy names of Radha and Krishna, the Shuddhanam Sankirtan of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Maha Mantra, that under the influence of that pure devotee, the world becomes Krishna conscious. Prabhupada makes a statement in the chapter Talks Between Narada and King Prachani Barhi, which is Narada's explaining to him more the allegorical story of King Paranjana, that the Lord, seeing the devotees' merciful attempt to save fallen conditioned souls, enlightens the conditioned souls from within automatically. So, the movement of the Lord's pure devotees all over this universe are just what is being described here. Nectar flowing in hundreds of rivers in all directions. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are an eternal reservoir, and one is advised to let his mind swim like a swan on this transcendental lake. That means to properly associate with devotees by making that association primarily and exclusively based upon hearing and chanting in ecstasy the glories of the Lord. Tesham satatta yuktanam pachatam pratipurvakam didami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Devotional service to Krishna is just like a pleasing, jubilant forest of lotus flowers wherein there is ample honey. I request everyone to taste this honey. If all the mental speculators bring the bees of their minds into the forest of lotus flowers, this forest, and jubilantly enjoy ecstatic love of Krishna day and night, their mental speculation will be completely transcendentally satisfied. Don't I have 2 minutes? We'll conclude with this. The devotees who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu take the responsibility for distributing nectarian devotional service all over the world. They are like clouds. Samsaradava nalalita loka chanaya karuna gunaganatvam. The spiritual master is receiving benediction from the ocean of mercy, pouring water on the ground that nourishes the fruit of love of Godhead in this world. The devotees eat that fruit to their heart's content, and whatever remnants they leave are eaten by the general populace. Thus, they live happily. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Shri Shri Radha Murlidhar, Shri Gaurachandra Nrsingadev Varaha Bhagavan Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Nam Tamaham bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham bhajami Andani yasa sakale Priya Priti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti
Rati. Shri Guru Charane Rati, Aise Uttama Gati. Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. Je Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. Sakudan Dilo Je Janme Janme Prabhu Se. Sakudan Dilo Je Janme Janme Prabhu Se. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. Prema Bhakti Jahate Avidya Vinasha Jate. Prema Bhakti Jahate Avidya Vinasha Jate. Tere Gaya Haracharito. Tere Gaya Haracharito. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu. Lokena Lokira Jivana. Lokena Lokira Jivana. Ah Prabhu Korodoya He Hamare Parachaya. Ah Prabhu Korodoya He Hamare Parachaya. Ah Prabhu Korodoya De Hamare Parachaya. Ebeja Sagusukri Bhuvana. Ebeja Sagusukri Bhuvana. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu. Lokena Lokira Jivana. Lokena Lokira Jivana. Ah Prabhu Korodoya De Hamare Parachaya. Ah Prabhu Korodoya De Hamare Parachaya. Ebejas Kusuki Bhuvana. Ebejas Kusuki Bhuvana. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. 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 Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadishatarine. Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajikacharya Astotar Satashi Srimad. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajikacharya Astotar Satashi Srimad. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki. Shri Rajbhumi Vrindavan Dham ki. Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki. Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham ki. Ganga Mai ki. Yamuna Mai ki. Bhakti Devi ki. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda ki. Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution ki. Yugadharma Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gaur Chandra.
Radha Krishna Pranamoda Yugala Kishore Radha Krishna Pranamoda Yugala Kishore Radha Krishna Pranamoda Yugala Kishore Radha Krishna जीवने मरने गति और नाही मोरा जीवने मरने गति और नाही मोरा जीवने मरने गति और नाही मोरा जीवने मरने गति कालिंदीरा कुले केली कादंबेरा बना कालिंदीरा कुले केली कादंबेरा बना कालिंदीरा कुले केली कादंबेरा बना रतना वेदीरा para Boshabo Ratana Vedira para Ratana Vedira para Boshabo Ratana Vedira para Radha Krishna Pranamoda Yugala Kishore Radha Krishna Pranamoda Yugala Kishore Shama Gauri Ange Divo Chandanera Gandha Shama Gauri Ange Divo Chandanera Gandha Shama Gauri Ange Divo Shama